Good morning, you guys. It is 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, and I am Becca Lori Hector here for Growing Gratitude. So welcome you guys back to Growing Gratitude every Sunday morning. I hop on here for 20 minutes, and oh, sorry about that. I don't know, am I the only person that does that when I'm super tired and cranky and like, I always put my hood on. I love a hood. It makes me feel all cozy. Anyway, so messy hair instead. So yeah, on Growing Gratitude, I spend 20 minutes talking about my week and sort of the things that happened during my week that I'm grateful for. It is sort of known within the mindfulness community that the more attitude of gratitude you have, the more comes into your life and the more positivity you have surrounding yourself. So my hope was to grow the gratitude in my life and inspire you guys to grow the gratitude in yours. So welcome. Good morning, CV. Hey, Joe. Early morning, I know. Except for you, Joe. You're okay. You're in a good time. Good morning, Morgan. I am so excited, you guys, to share with you some of the stuff that I have. I'm super tired and I feel like it's going to come off as low energy. I can hear my voice sounds like a man. I'm like all tired with the tired voice from the days on the food truck. But I had kind of an amazing week. I had these little moments of gratitude that I wasn't expecting. And those are my favorites, when you have moments of gratitude that you sort of weren't looking for or weren't in a scenario where you necessarily thought you would have a gratitude moment. And I had a bunch of those this week. It was super fun. So to start with, my first gratitude shout out goes to my self-defined living students who are showing up in spades for the new guys. There is no better feeling, you guys. I don't even know how to describe properly the feeling of taking a whole bunch of stuff that you suffered and made mistakes for and learned and took years and years and years and years to perfect in your own life, and then package it up and share it with other people, and first have it received really, really well, and then see it impact their lives in the same way that it's impacted yours. And that's what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing all this growth and happiness coming from all of my students, and what I wasn't expecting was how many of them would turn around and gift the course to somebody else. So, shout out to my student sponsors. That's essentially what you are. Thank you so much for showing up in spades for the people who are ready to step forward now and do the next cohort. And I'm hoping this is some kind of weird pattern, and those guys will help sponsor the next crew. Right? That was the hope, right? It was the building of the community and creating a space for us to talk about these things and all that stuff. And it is happening, you guys, and you are a huge part of it. So giant gratitude shout out goes to my SDL students for showing up for each other in the way that we talk about so much in the course. Thank you for digesting it and committing yourselves to it. And then participating. So that's my first gratitude, because there's not even a way to explain it to other people, even to say, no, you don't understand. My students are sponsoring my next students. That's fucking awesome. They don't get it. So I hope you guys know that I get it, because it means a ton to me. And even though I can't share it because there are people that don't get it, and I can't share it in that way and expect the whole world to embrace it, but I am humbled, grateful, all of those things, because it gives me goosebumps to think about every time. So thank you, you guys. That's my number one gratitude. It goes out to that, because that was, I think, on Tuesday or something. I put it in my calendar for Sunday. Like, I have to say something. This is crazy. So that was my first gratitude. My next gratitude goes out to this little journal here. I'm so excited. I haven't started it yet, but it arrived this week. It is called the Creative Thinking Journal. I'm excited. I told you guys I wanted to add fun and flavor into my life. And there's nothing more fun for me than being creative, right? And creating things. And so I decided that I was going to add some journaling into this year. I'm not a journaler, and I recommend it sometimes in the course because some people are, right? And it works for a lot of people. I am not a journaler. I'm somebody who takes mental notes of my days and things like that. And I share it to you guys this way. Right. But I liked the concept of this journal. It's not about, you should, I don't know. I'll tell you how it is and tell you whether it's worth it. I think it's going to be so much fun. So inside, right, it's all these activities it's all this stuff for creativity, you guys. All this fun stuff to do for creativity. And I am excited to take on the challenges. I mean, it's filled of exercises to use and help grow your creative brain, which to me feels like exactly what I need happening for this year, because there's nothing more fun than creating stuff from your own brain that is not in existence on the planet. And that's what that's about. Now, I haven't started it yet, but I think it already kicked off some stuff for me. So gratitude goes to that journal because you guys know, I'm rolling around all over the place. You guys know I talked a little bit about doing a Redbubble store, and now I'm doing the Ko-Fi that has the possibility for me to do commission work and stuff like that on there. So I'm going to be playing around with those things because the ideas finally arrived, you guys. So I was waiting, right? Like I knew I had the general idea of what I wanted to do. And I thought maybe I'd do a calendar. I have an idea about doing a nighttime affirmations book for you guys based on the self-defined living stuff. But I am a t-shirt person. I love t-shirts. I love t-shirts and hats and hoodies and things that kind of express my feelings at the moment, or express the kind of day I want to have or am having, or blah, blah, blah. So besides collecting cat mugs, I collect t-shirts. So I decided that was sort of what I really wanted to do for you guys, because I feel like there's no better way to start adding our little sayings and stuff into our lives, and sharing it with the world if we don't start wearing it. So I've been waiting, because I was like, how do I make my lessons? How do I make the things that I talk about and all of that stuff into a t-shirt? It's so weird. And so I've been thinking, but the other day, like the day I got the creativity journal, boom, the idea arrived. It hit me at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up and I had to start taking notes, because the ideas arrived. The ideas of how to translate what it is that we do into a t-shirt you could throw on and say, I need to remember this today. This is the attitude I got to take with me today. And so I have now a list. I think I'm going on like 15 different sayings to put on t-shirts and stuff. So my mission for this week is to keep doing the creative stuff, and try and spend some time on the Redbubble store and see if I can't design some shirts for you guys. I'm going to dangerously flip away from the camera for a second so I can read you some of the stuff that I wrote down, because what I was really struggling with is I give you guys these little sayings like attitude of gratitude, when you know better, do better, all of those, that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, how am I going to get that on a shirt? Well, obviously, you guys, when you wear something, you have to claim it, right? It's all about, I feel the way that I'm wearing of my shirt, right? So here's the deal. I thought about doing something about alignment, right? I'm aligned, or aligned, bitches. Or I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, living a self-defined life, right? Just the lessons, please, right? We take leave the emotions, take the lessons, right? Committed to thriving. And they just keep coming, right? And so I'm just playing. I'm playing around with it this week. So I'm grateful for the moment of creative inspiration, okay? Because it disappears during the seasonal depression. The creativity isn't quite there and at the surface the way that it is when I'm not feeling depressed, which is leading me into my next gratitude, you guys. I can feel the change a-coming. Not only am I past the halfway point, I'm now well into January of the seasonal depression, and the days are getting longer and longer. And you guys, I don't know if you can feel it yet, but I can feel it lifting. I feel slightly lighter, just a little bit. And the creativity is poking through, and I'm waking up with a little bit more energy, and all of those little things that start to come back in as the seasonal depression lifts. And so it's beginning. It's like little flower buds, and it's beginning for me. And I'm grateful for that too, for the lift of that seasonal depression and making it through this year better than really I've ever made it through the seasonal depression before. I think once I'm through the other side, probably going to write a piece about it, because I think there's lessons to be learned in there for other people. And so I want to teach you guys, and I want to share with people what I learned this year about my seasonal depression and how to live with it. So I think there'll be a piece coming out in like March or so when I'm really full through it and I can really concentrate. So that's that. My very last gratitude today. I don't know. I'm so excited about it. This one came out of Nowheresville. So a while back, God, it's been 2 years, almost 3 years. I worked at our local animal shelter. It was my last attempt at doing a regular person job, and trying to not do my autism work as much, right? Money, the whole thing. So I did, and I took that job, and I loved it, you guys. I genuinely loved that job. The people there, again, not so much. But that's what happens, right? That's what happens for us. That's our story. But I love the job. And while I was there, the reason I think that I was there was to get my little Gus. Little Gussie came from the time that I was working there. And I'm going to tell you little Gus's story. So little Gus came to the shelter with his mama. He was just born. And she was still nursing. So we had her at the shelter nursing, and we were taking care of her pups, and we helped raise her pups. She had 4 in her litter. So Gus had 1 sister and 2 brothers. And we were taking care of all of them. And they were the cutest puppies, but the messiest puppies, and like annoying. Just playing with each other constantly, getting poop everywhere, poop in the food, poop on the toys, poop on themselves. I mean, that's just the way puppies are. Puppies are poop machines. And so here we were taking care of these little 4 bratty puppies. And then they grew into the age they need to be, which is they need to be between 8 and 12 weeks to get adopted out. And so there they were ready. We had the neuter surgeries. We did everything we were supposed to do. And they were on the floor for adoption. And boof, they all got adopted really fast. In the same day, in one day, Gus's brother Forrest and his, oh, and they're so cute. They were so cute. The story, right? I know, Joe. 'Tis the story of my life. But yeah, so they were. It was Violet and Sprout and Forrest, and what was the other one's name? I can't remember the other one's name. Maybe it'll come back to me. It was another Forrest. It was another like naturey name. Anyway, so they were all in this litter, and so one puppy went home, and then somebody came with their kids, and they had a little boy and a little girl. And they took a little boy and a little girl. They took Violet and Forrest with them. And so, like, that's how it went. And so by the end of that one day, they'd been on the floor a day, the puppies. They were adorable. All 3 of the 4 were taken. 1 was left, little Sprout. Little Sprout would become Gus. Because what happened was I was closing up the shelter. And mind you, he came in with his mom, with his litter and everything. And until that very day where his 2 brothers and sister went home, he had always been with another dog. He had never been alone, right? He had never known anything about it. And here he was, this little, I mean, he was like this big. He was like a little tiny squish, okay? And I had to put him alone in this giant kennel that he had been sharing with his siblings, all alone, because he wasn't taken that day. So needless to say, as shelter manager, when I was closing down the shelter and I walked by his little cage and saw his little face looking so frightened to be all alone for the first time, I couldn't imagine turning the lights off on him and leaving him there. So I decided that I would take him home for the night because I thought it would be too much for him to just kind of sit there overnight alone. And then I bring him back in the morning and get him adopted the next day, right? Well, I did. I took him home. I called Antonio. I said, listen, I need to bring home this one puppy for overnight just so that he doesn't like get weird and psychologically troubled by being alone in this kennel. And I brought him home and we took care of him for one night. And I swear to you guys, I meant it. I packed him back up in the crate and took him back to the shelter the next day. I even put him in the front office with me so people could look at him and see how adorable he was. And I just need to tell you that this little shit of a dog just decided to be ugly all day. He just was mopey and sad, and he just sat there and he wouldn't pay attention to people when they came and pet him, and he wouldn't lick them and love them and none of that stuff. So by the end of that day, nobody took him again. And there it was. So we took him home. I took him home a second night and I said, all right, well, I'll foster him for a little bit. I'll bring him back every day that I come back to work and we'll get him adopted. I am not keeping this dog. Well, I kept the dog. So he's now mine and he's here and he's just turned 2 practically, Mr. Gus, and he's now all full grown. And I was this year, of course, I follow the shelter still, and just because I don't work there doesn't mean I have hard feelings, and I'm always going to be an animal person and all that shit. So I still follow the shelter and all of that. And every year they do a calendar of the puppies that have been adopted, like the people who want to send in photos of their shelter animal now living in their homes, right? And they do a calendar. And of course, they sell the calendar for a little bit of money, and the shelter raises money and that whole thing. And it's done on a voting system. So I threw Gus in there and I said, come on, let's vote for him a bunch. And we had some of our friends vote for him. But by the end of it all, I didn't think that he had enough votes to actually get his own month. So like the first 12 animals that had the highest votes were going to get their own month. And then all the other animals would get like a little picture somewhere in the calendar, right? Well, the other day I went and stopped by my neighbor's house who still volunteers at the shelter. And she said, oh, I have something for you. I said, okay. And she said, the calendar came out, and surprise, here's the calendar. She said, I have an extra one for you. So here is the Intermountain Humane Society 2021 calendar, right? And she said, I have an extra one for you. And I said, okay. She said, I took it because Gus got his own month. What? Yes, I had no idea that he got his own month, and he did, and the calendar's out. And so I share with you, I have Mr. August, right? Gus got August as his month, and here he is. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. Wait, I want you to be able to read it. So there he is. Burton Guster Underfoot, often called Gus Turd, because he is, right? And there's what I wrote about him, right? And it's the cutest thing ever. So this month, my gratitude, I think, goes out to the Intermountain Humane Society. I didn't have a great time working there, but I met some people I really enjoy, and I definitely got a buddy for life, right? And I know all the dogs in there, right? It's an amazing feeling. So my little Gus, the little crappy bratty boy that he is, he's Mr. August, and he got himself a month. And so it really kind of made my week. I was really surprised. Wasn't expecting it. And it added a component of joy to my life that I really wasn't expecting this week. And I think that's the part of it that was most enjoyable, was that I really didn't know. I wasn't like expecting it at all. I didn't know the calendar. I mean, I was like not in touch with the whole thing. I just wanted to get him in there and then donate some money. And that was it, right? That was the goal. So when I got to see the calendar, I was so excited. Anyway, so I'm really excited to have my calendar and to have my little Gussie Gus in the calendar and giving himself a month, right? Should only inflate his ego a little bit more. And then I'm going to go and buy a whole bunch to send to family members so they too can have Gus in August. I'm such a proud mama right now. Thank God I didn't have children with school pictures. Can you imagine if I had children that had school pictures every year? I'd probably send it all over the planet and post it all over the world. Anyway, so thank you so much, CV. I love him too. It is a lovely story, Joe. And I wanted to share it with you guys because it's little things like that, right, that create the extra joy in our lives. It's the stuff that when the joy comes from nowhere, and it's our obligation, I feel like, to each other to share that joy. So not only did I have this like super moment where I got this calendar and my neighbor thought of me and she brought me the calendar, and then I was surprised with Gus inside, right? And I was just so happy, and I brought home the joy to Antonio, and I just spread it all over the place. Now I'm sharing it with you guys. And then I'm going to send calendars to people. I mean, it was just such a unexpected joy for the week, and I really appreciated it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my growing gratitude for this week. Lots of things always to be grateful for. I'm quite certain I missed even more than that. But now it's your turn, you guys. It's up to you guys now to go out into this world, to pay attention enough to know that the universe is gifting you with things to be grateful for on a regular basis, to kind of find those things, mark those things, and figure out how you can make sure that you're including your gratitude for those things, even when you have the shittiest week ever, which happens. There are still little things to be grateful for. So I hope you guys will take some time, go out there, take some time to think about the gratitudes in your life for this week. And then go out with the rest of your Sunday and create some freaking joy. Create joy, share joy, and there's no wrong way to do it. So do it however you do it, and have a good day. Take some time to be grateful for stuff. Take some time to smile. And of course, take some time for you. I will see you guys on Tuesday with Being Back Alive. And then, of course, I'll be back next Sunday with the next Growing Gratitude. And in the meantime, you can always find me out and about on the interwebs, as well as you can comment wherever you saw this video. You can email me directly at info@beccalaurie.com, or you can head to my website, sign up for my free newsletter, use the contact page, check out the course, check out my social media, read some of my writing, do whatever it is that you do. But I just want to know you're out there. So please, as always, your thumbs up and thumbs down, let me know if I should keep doing it. And your shares and views mean the world to me. So thank you so much, you guys. Have an amazing, amazing Sunday. I will see you on Tuesday, and I'll see you out and about there. Have a great week, you guys. Bye.